What's going on, everybody? GemMint here with today's new comic book day reviews. It's Wednesday, May 12th, and as always, we're going to go through this stack of books as spoiler-free as possible. Actually, my shop missed their diamond shipment, so all their Marvel books, all their indies are delayed until Friday. So I read all of my Marvel books digitally for you guys so that we can have a full new comic book day reviews. So the only book I didn't get to read was Heavy from Aftershock, which I'm a really big fan of, actually. Anyway, before we get started, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video. We are giving away a Spider-Man premium format once we hit 125K. We just hit 118. All you got to do is be subscribed, leave a like on this video, and comment down below. If you stay tuned till the end of the video, not only will I give you my pick of the week, but I'll give you more details on how the giveaway is going to go down. Also, if any of you guys are into gaming, you got to come follow me over on Twitch. I've been streaming almost every day. I'm really big into fighting games and retro games, so go follow me at Mint Collectibles and join me on Twitch. And lastly, before we get started, we got to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com. Make sure to check them out for all your omnibus, absolute editions, and deluxe edition needs. They sell them up to 50% off, immaculate packaging, super fast shipping, and great customer service. They also have that bargain bin where you can get titles up to 90% off. Plus, if you mention this channel in the memo at checkout for your first order, your second order will have free shipping if you're in the United States. All right, so let's start with the physical books this week. We're going to do DC Black Label Rorschach. This is issue 8, and it's by Tom King, Jorge Fornes, and Dave Stewart. The story starting to make a little bit of sense here. It's being told through this interrogation of 3 people who were involved with, I'm drawing a blank on his name, the Steve Ditko character, and the cult-like things that were going down on this farm where everyone was living. The kid, who was the female character from the beginning, the Steve Ditko character now being kind of exposed as the Rorschach or the real Rorschach or whatever. It kind of made more sense. I like the storytelling aspect of this. I like how they played with the paneling, so it's like the one shot of the interrogator with the 3 different people. Cool little twist at the end. I'm enjoying Rorschach. It's kind of crazy. Like, every issue has been completely different. Even the format of this issue was way different, but it's starting to tie the story together, and it's been an interesting ride so far. All right, now we're on to Wonder Woman issue 772. This is by Cloonan, Conrad Moore, and Bonvillain with a backup story, The Adventures of Young Diana, which I did not read. So this one is continuing on this storyline that's tying in with like Norse mythology, kind of taking a weird turn. I think it was my least favorite issue so far from this arc. Basically, Diana trying to remember who she is. Last we read in the previous issue, she was swallowed by that snake, Yggdrasil. How do you pronounce that? To get the key and real wizard stuff. So she gets out of there and starts to remember who she is. She runs into Odin, who mentions the name Wonder Woman, and everything starts to come back. So I've enjoyed this arc. I just think this was, the 3rd issue, and it just was like the least satisfying for me, but I do like this Wonder Woman title though. All right, on to Superman issue 31. This is by Johnson, Goldowski, Ratman, and L-Tab. This also has a backup story, Tales of Metropolis, by Louis Basri and Areola. So this one is kind of like Wonder Woman. I really have been enjoying this arc. I think it's the 3rd issue of this arc, and it was my least favorite. Jonathan Kent and Clark Kent, Superman, they're on this planet. There was this beacon distress call, and it kind of ends up being a hive mind enemy type of situation. It really gave me Invincible vibes. It really felt like Omni-Man and Invincible a lot here. So it's almost funny like how that borrowed from Superman, but now it feels like Superman's borrowing from it. Nice, clean, vibrant artwork. I do like the art style on this book. I don't know, this one just fell a little flat to me. It kind of picked up towards the end with Superman kind of falling for this trap and trying to save this race. It's reminding me of something, man. I can't really put my finger on it with this hive mind collective kind of thing. I mean, I know we do it all the time in comics. It's reminding me of something that I can't really put my finger on, but again, it was like the least strongest out of the arc so far, but still continuing to read Superman. All right, moving on over to Joker issue 3 by Tynion, March, and Prianto. Also has a punchline backup by Tynion, Johns, Aldolfo, and Ferraro Jr. Really digging this series. This is definitely the Commissioner Gordon storyline. So he's taking this $25 million bounty to go to, is it Belize, to find Joker. But he's got the Bat family having his back, although his, what's the word I'm looking for? the people paying him, I'm drawing a blank here, don't know that he's tapped the Bat family. I love the twist here when he's hunting for Joker, and he kind of, how do I say this without spoiling it? I just love what happens when he gets to Belize. It took me by surprise, and it took Gordon by surprise. Artwork is super clean. The punchline story was a little rushed. It really not much happened there. Kind of her high school friend is playing the victim role, and hey, I was just trying to help her out, or I didn't know she was really gonna plot and kill people and this and that, and there's a twist in that storyline as well. I guess he's working with one of the Bat family members, some kind of Batgirl that's not Oracle. I'm losing track of the Bat family here, but I definitely am digging the Joker title for sure. All right, moving on to Batman the Detective, issue 2 out of 6 by Tom Taylor, awesome writer, Kubert and Anderson. Great cover by Andy Kubert as well. I really like this story. This one is like futuristic version of Bruce Wayne, not all the way Dark Knight Returns future. Somebody is going after everybody that Batman has ever saved, making them victims, and it's almost like a cult that's behind this, because even one of their own kind of gets saved by Batman, and they're like, wait a minute, you got saved by Batman? Pfft, dead. You know what I'm saying? And he's going up against like this cult, and they have all these Batman characters dressed in all white. It's got to be some kind of drawback to Batman Incorporated, but I don't really remember much of that storyline. It feels like it ties into that somehow, but I definitely like the artwork here, this dark, gritty type of art style. Does this have a backup? No, but a great Bat title that's out right now for sure. Another Batman title, we have Batman Urban Legends, issue 3. These have 4 stories. It's almost like a thin trade paperback. It's got a Batman story featuring Red Hood, a grifter story. Then it has the Outlaws and a Lady Shiva story, which I didn't read those last 2. I only read the Batman by Chip Zdarsky, which is a great storyline. The cover here by John Romita Jr. The Chip Zdarsky, he has been killing it on DC and Marvel this week. We're going to talk about Zdarsky's next book up next. But this is the one where Red Hood gets in some trouble. He ends up finding this kid like alone, and ends up, finding his parents. There's drugs involved. It seems to have some type of remnants from the Scarecrow toxin. Anyway, really touching stuff. The little kid calls himself the Blue Hood. Batman gets involved, and it's like oil and water with him and Jason Todd, man. They can't get on the same page. It's a great storyline. The Grifter storyline I really enjoyed as well, man. It was very gritty. The art style was dope. And Grifter, man, just sleeping with whoever he got to sleep with, doing whatever needs to be done. I love the interaction when he runs into Bruce Wayne, then he runs into Batman, and I'm starting to ease up on Grifter, man. I like his kind of murk, doesn't give a shit attitude. He's a regular guy, so he's not like zany like Deadpool, but he's a merc that he's kind of a piece of shit. Cold Cash, Max Cash, I don't know. I like the Grifter story. The other 2 stories, I can give a damn about the Outsiders, and I flipped through the other story. What was it? Lady Shiva? That was just a pass for me. So unfortunately, it's a oversized book that I only read 2 of the stories. All right, then we have Justice League Last Ride. This is issue 1 by Chip Zdarsky, Mendoza, and Angiolini. Great storyline. So the premise here is the Justice League has been disbanded. Superman's overworked, he's overtired, he's everywhere at once, he's chilling in the Fortress of Solitude with Lois Lane, but he's having nightmares and he's waking up floating in the air. And then there's a distress call from the Justice League, so they meet at the Watchtower, and it's been a while. Ends up being the plot of this is that the Green Lantern Corps is trying to rebuild, and they want to make the moon of Earth the new Oa. Everybody's kind of on board except Batman. It seems like Batman doesn't want to play nice with anybody. And the Green Lantern Corps not only wants to make the moon Oa, but they have a prisoner that they've captured that they have to keep alive until trial. I like who the prisoner is. I'm not going to spoil it. Great storytelling, man. Zdarsky just killing it. And the last one from DC, we have the Challenge of the Super Sons, issue 2 out of 7. This is by Tomasi, Rayner, Corona, and Guerrero. Guest starring Wonder Woman, so she plays a part here. I like the cover. They kind of do it without any black lines. I thought that was kind of slick, right? It almost looks like, you only find them when they're dead artwork. Anyway, it was okay. I really liked the interactions between Damian Wayne and Jonathan Kent, the wholesome young kid versus the much wiser than he really is, or the much wiser than he should be based on his age. The Wonder Woman cameo was very brief. Basically, Damian Wayne steals some type of thread, which I don't know, the gods blessed, and it's something that made the lasso of truth. It's the thread of lies or something like that. Has a generic bad guy character. I really kind of got lost at the end here. Like all of a sudden they get teleported to the 1600s or something, and it kind of lost me there with like the magical aspect with Faust and somebody else. So I like the first kind of like 2/3 of this book, and then they kind of lost me at the end. All right, let's move over to the digital book. So all of Marvel I read digital, and we're going to start with Chip Zdarsky again on Spider-Man Spider Shadow. This is issue 2 out of 5. It's basically a what if. It's also he's joined by Pascal Ferry and Matt Hollingsworth. So this is basically what if Spider-Man kept the symbiote when Reed Richards tells him that it's trying to bond to him and it's actually an alien life form. And in doing so, he loses Aunt May the same way that he lost Uncle Ben, kind of making the wrong decision. And that's basically what the storyline is. What if Spider-Man made all these wrong decisions? Ends up now killing bad guys. He's scaring the hell out of the villains, but it's making them band together to go against him with those that would not be villains, or maybe not as bad a villain, like J. Jonah Jameson, for example. But I'm reading this and I'm like, yeah, man, you're tripping, Spidey, because the heroes ain't gonna go for this. I mean, I know you're a big badass and you're killing Hobgoblin and other villains, but cool little what if tale. I'm all for it. It's a 5-issue series that's gonna end, so just having fun with this one. All right, then we have Children of the Atom issue 3 by Vita Ayalo, Paco Medina, and David Curell. Was not digging this. This was everything that I didn't like about the first 2 issues. That was this whole issue. It was all about the kids. No X-Men action, no mutant action, no action really whatsoever. Just drama with the kids. This girl just crying about not feeling like she's good enough to have friends and have family, and everybody loves me, but do they really like me? Yo, man, this issue was a letdown for me. Not that I had high expectations, but it's just like, I don't know, man. I just thought it was super uninteresting. I don't care about these characters and their personal drama. Like, why can't they get on Krakoa? That's all I want to know. And then we have X Corp. This is by Howard, Foch, and Go. Yo, this was... I couldn't stand this book, man. I'm sorry to say it. I thought this was one of the most boringest comics that I've ever read. It's exactly what it sounds like. X Corp. It's a corporate X Corporation book. I could not stand the main character in this. What is her name again? Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. Hold on. I had to look it up. Penance Monet. I hated her in this issue so much, man. She was so like such an asshole, so presumptuous. And her teaming up with Warren Worthington, trying to recruit the board for the X Corporation. This was just terrible, man. There was like some kind of cyber ransom virus going on in their system. It was boring. I hated how Monet, she's got to go, she's got meetings, she has so many meetings. I can't talk to Professor X because I have a meeting. Like, really? You can't carve out 5 minutes to give some respect to Professor X and holler at him for 5 minutes like your Zoom meeting is more important? Yo, this shit was whack. I highly recommend passing on X Corp. Moving on over to Heroes Reborn issue 2. This is by Jason Aaron, Dale Keown, Scott Hanna, and Edgar Delgado. Yeah, I like this one. It took an interesting take. Issue 1 established that Blade is in this world where the Avengers never existed. He's like a fish out of water. This issue is all about Hyperion. Hyperion is like the Avengers in this world. He is the main hero that's out there saving everybody. And they have interesting twists on characters. Basically, in this issue, Reed Richards advises Hyperion that all of these villains broke out of the negative zone where they were being held captive, so you got to go and round them all up. So kind of a different take on some of the villains. Peter Parker, who has a tie-in that we'll talk about, shows up, and he obviously never became Spider-Man. He's just Jimmy Olsen, basically. And Hyperion is just this red-blooded American, like over-the-top, all-about country. But it was interesting, man, and I had fun with this issue. Let's talk about the Hyperion and the Imperial Guard tie-in for Heroes Reborn. This is by Katie Badini, Byrne D'Amico, and Arciniega. Yo, I didn't understand what the hell was going on in this book. I mean, it's Hyperion, but it's definitely not the Hyperion that we were just introduced to in Heroes Reborn issue 2. Hyperion and the Imperial Guard, I haven't read that ongoing series. I don't know where this is picking up from. I was just completely lost the whole time. It was uninteresting. It didn't feel like it tied in with the main storyline whatsoever. And same with the Starjammer's backup. Like, I don't understand why this was a Heroes Reborn title. I mean, I know it's got Hyperion, but he definitely wasn't the same guy. So after reading that, I was a little like, oh man, is this going to be one of those where these tie-ins all suck? But Peter Parker, the Amazing Shutterbug, was actually a really good story, man. This is by Bernardin de la Torre, Lim, Hanna, and Campbell. So this Heroes Reborn tie-in focuses on the Peter Parker that was the Peter Parker from issue 2 of Heroes Reborn, and is basically, what if Peter Parker, instead of getting bitten by the radioactive spider in high school, Flash Thompson pushes him over while he's tying his shoe and squishes the spider and nobody gets bit. It almost seems like life's a little bit better for Peter. Like, Uncle Ben doesn't die. He's getting bullied, sure, but no bad things really happen to him. Until they do, and he becomes a photographer. He drops out of college because of an incident that happens, and then it picks up right where you meet him from Heroes Reborn 2, some of the same dialogue, and it was really interesting. Even his fate, which was teased like as a little Easter egg in Heroes Reborn issue 2, it's more fleshed out here. That puny Parker luck. So surprisingly enjoyed this tie-in. All right, guys, moving on over to Image, we have Geiger issue 2. This is by Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, and Brad Anderson. Great story. This is fleshing out this world, this post-apocalyptic world. Didn't focus too much on the Atomic Man or the Glowing Man, but everyday life in Las Vegas, and it hones in on this one family. This mother she steals something from one of the big bads, or one of the big bosses there from Vegas, to try to basically flee Vegas and go for this promised land type of area. And our Atomic Man makes an appearance at the end. It was super interesting. I mean, it's Jeff Johns, so I had fun with this book for sure. Then we have issue 2 of the Silver Coin. So this is an anthology series. Chip Zdarsky wrote issue 1. This one was by Kelly Thompson and Michael Walsh, and I really like this. It was way different from issue 1. It's not like the Silver Coin can only be magical if it's a guitar pick. This one was like this kid who's into horror movies, into Friday the 13th and Jason and things of that nature, and goes to like kind of the sleepaway camp. The girls are bullying her, and she runs into the Silver Coin in the woods. And let's just say those serial killer type of movies play out in real life. So I liked the dialogue. I thought it was really witty, and it was really well done, the way that these girls were interacting with each other. So I definitely dug this one. And then the pick of the week, it's an Image title. It's a new #1, Time Before Time. This one is by Chalvex and McConville. I'm not really familiar with the creative team. Oh, also O'Halloran, Oatsmain, and Eloha. I think I'm butchering these names, but this was a great first issue, man. And it almost gave me like Mike Mignola vibes with the art style. And basically the concept is, in the far future, I think is it the 2400s, the Syndicate has cracked time travel, and they basically run a service where they put people back in time, people that are trying to get away. They'll pay you to take them to the 1960s to live out their lives for whatever reason. It seems like there's something happening with these pods, though. Maybe the more times you jump, the worse it is for you, because they kind of have like these chaperones, like this main character on the front who goes and brings these people to where they're supposed to go and then comes back. So very interesting how it jumps throughout time. The future sucks. This guy kind of wants to get away, steal a pod, go live out their lives somewhere nice. But obviously that's easier said than done. Something happens to his partner in crime, which I thought was really interesting, like interstellar interesting. And I just thought this was an awesome #1 issue. I can't wait to see where it goes. So that's it for this week's comics. That was my pick of the week. Let me know what your pick of the week was in the comments down below. That's what's going to enter you into the giveaway for our 125,000 subscriber giveaway. Because like I said, all you got to do is be subscribed and leave a comment on this video and any other video where I promoted the giveaway. Because once we hit the milestone, we're going to go live, pick a random video where I promoted the giveaway, and use a random YouTube comment generator to draw a worldwide winner. Also, I want to make a quick announcement. I'm planning to do a new video series that launches every Friday, where I count down the top 10 comics from that week, and my co-host is going to be none other than Rockin' Robbie Billups from Pop Culture Philosophers. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Come follow me over on Twitch and check out my other new comic book day reviews if you missed them. Stay minty fresh. Peace.